Bell rolls is the reporter thrown into the secretive world of the Forex Super Model, where nothing is as it seems. Beware the techno monk, and steer clear of Professor Code and his two assistants. Give the senior trader a wide berth, and don't expect any sense from the risk manager.
Good morning, I'm Professor Code and this is the Forex Super Model daily briefing for Tuesday the 5th of October 2021. The Asian session has just come to a close, European session firing up, our lunchtime North American session, right, and the time is 0440, just coming up to 4:45 in the morning GMT. Right, Monday the 4th then yesterday, we had a opposed positive driver in the pound at plus 125, front and back door flows mainly coming out the yen at minus 92, out the dollar at minus 47, and the euro was the positive rock at plus 14, activity plus or minus 139. Intra-week then, this is from Monday, yesterday opened to about 15 minutes ago, we got a positive opposed driver in the pound again, plus 144, front and back door flows mainly coming out the yen at minus 130, out the dollar at minus 29, and the euro is a positive rock again at plus 15, activity plus or minus 159. So yesterday and intra-week we've got a positive pound driving, flows out of the yen and the dollar, and with a mildly positive euro. Right, intraday then, which is the Asian session to about 15 minutes ago, we've got a negative opposed driver in the yen this time, minus 38, front and back door flows mainly going into the dollar at plus 36, into the pound at plus 17, and the euro is a negative rock at minus 15, activity plus or minus 53. So basically what's happened is, in the Asian session is the dollar's strengthened and the pound and the euro have weakened, and the yen has stayed fairly static. Right, so we'll stop it there and write up the flows. Right, we've written up the flows then. So the euro is weak except against the New Zealand dollar, the yen is weak except against the euro and the New Zealand dollar, the pound is strong except against the dollar and the Swiss is strong except against the dollar, the CAD is weak except against the New Zealand dollar, the AUD is strong except against the pound, the dollar and the Swiss, New Zealand dollar is weak across the board, and the dollar itself is strong across the board. So what have we got? We've got New Zealand weakness across the board, dollar strength across the board, and take your pick in the middle. Basically we've got euro and yen weakness as well. So that ties in with the flows a bit. What's going to knock it about? Well, we've had the AUD trade balance, which came in pretty positive, and we've got the Reserve Bank of Australia rates decision in a few minutes, so that's that. And then we've got US service PMI later today, and tomorrow Wednesday the 6th, we've got Reserve Bank of New Zealand rates decision, so that will box the commodity currencies in a bit. And we've got the Euro retail sales and US ADP employment change, which is the precursor to the NFP on Friday. Right, so that's where we are. We'll stop it there, write up the asset classes and then do the analysis. Right, we've written up the asset classes then. So US dollar index, basically pump up, it's come off and it's now starting to go back up. It's 0.26 from the high, 26% from the modelled high. Gold is 0.38 from the floor. Doesn't like a strong dollar. Oil has broken resistance, excuse me, and is basically about 20% above the resistance in model terms. So oil's very strong. Wall Street, S&P, and tech, they've all got the same sort of look. They went up, they've come back quite a bit, and they're just starting to sort of bounce off the floor at the moment. We're 0.29 from the floor on Wall Street, 0.21 S&P, and the tech is pretty much on the deck, just mildly risen, probably 8 or 9% off the model floor. Right, so US 10-year in the bund, this is the price of the bonds. Basically we've had this fall off in price, rising yields. Then we had this rising price, fall in yields, and now yields are starting to, in the US particularly, are starting to come up again because the price is starting to fall. And the US 10-year is 0.29 from the floor, and the bund is 0.24 from the floor. So the bund is still slightly stronger in terms of yields than the US, but the US is starting starting to come back now, and we're seeing the strength in the dollar in the Asian session. Right, copper is basically chopping its half marks, and US steel is on the deck pretty much, 0.17 from the floor. Right, we'll get rid of that and we'll just do the final analysis then. So obviously we're starting to sort of get some data flows now. We've had the Australian trade balance, which is pretty positive, and the rates decision, the New Zealand rates decision, tomorrow morning. Right, so we've got dollar, euro, yen, pound in the majors. We've got AUD, NZD. We've got these rates decisions. We've got CAD with the oil transmission, and the Swiss with equities and risk on, risk off, basically. Right, the dollar's coming up at the moment. Euro and the yen are coming off. And the pound is relatively strong as well. So, and if you look at, as I say, if you look at the Asian flows, that's basically what's happening. We've got today, we've got this rates announcement, which has probably happened by now in Australia. We've got US service PMI, and then we're leading into this Euro retail sales and ADP employment print. So, I mean, the focus is going to be sort of swinging towards Friday's NFP, but if you look at what's happening in the US 10-year, you've got this, yields are starting to come back in the US. You're starting to see dollar strength, and the euro and the yen are the losers at the moment, and the pound is the gainer. So, and the New Zealand dollar is taking a hit at the moment. In the Asian session, the New Zealand dollar is weak across the board. Excuse me again, and therefore you've got this sort of setup. So what do we think is going to happen today? Well, it's going to be noise driven, obviously. We think we're quite likely to see. See, yesterday we were thinking about going long the euro and short the pound. The pound was very dominant yesterday, off the back of all sorts of things, but the Chancellor's extension of the furlough scheme probably helped as well. So anyway, that's where we are there. Regarding today, the Asian flows are definitely showing that the dollar wants to be strong. The New Zealand is getting sold off, and if you get this sort of dollar strength, New Zealand dollar weakness, it sort of smacks of risk off as we run into ADP tomorrow. So equities are likely to come off. There's not going to be much risk appetite, in other words, and so you could see a bounce in the yen. Basically, you're going to get a sort of a dollar yen on the plus side, and a euro pound on the negative side. That's what we believe will be happening, and obviously we'll need to see how things pan out during the morning European session. But watch out for dollar and yen strength, equity weakness, and euro and pound weakness as well. And oil's starting to break out on the upside, and that's going to start make people start thinking about the negative effects of high oil on global growth and inflation. So it's going to start. That's going to put an extra spanner in the works, if you like, on equities. So look for rising oil, falling equities, strong dollar, strong yen off the back of the equity transmission, and euro and pound sucking up the negative flows, with the NZD being soft probably all day. Right, so I hope that was useful. See you tomorrow for the daily briefing. Thanks for watching.